All right, what's going on, everyone? Happy Memorial Day. Just kicking it. Had to do a little bit of work this morning, and so I talked to the team about, should we still do, our little Monday at noon Eastern? I said, yeah, why not? Hey, it's Memorial Day, right? We're kicking it. Got the golf gear on. No, I did not go golfing this weekend. I literally had the best, most amazing lazy weekend on the planet Earth. Like, I'm not gonna lie. It was like pretty fantastic. So look at that. We already got people showing up. What's up, everyone? What's up, Andy, Gallum, Rob, Rana? Got my folks here on LinkedIn. I'm going to pull up LinkedIn real quick. So here's what I'm going to do. All right. It's Memorial Day, so I can't promise I'm going to spend the whole hour with y'all, right? But I will spend at least maybe 30, 45 minutes or so. So look, we've got our whole LinkedIn playbook, right? And this is something, what's up, Rana? Good evening from India. I love it. And so this is something that for us that we do with all of our clients, right? So this is something that usually our clients are coming in, they're asking us questions. I'm gonna try some crazy, I'm gonna try to stream on LinkedIn Live. I don't even know if this is a thing. Come on, stop. Okay. All right, and if you guys have any problems hearing me, shirt looks good. What is that? This is I don't know what that is. It's I don't know. This is like one of those golf shirts that you get randomly in Scottsdale, Arizona, because you don't know, you forget, everything. What's up, Corey? What's up, Luana? Happy Memorial Day to everybody, whether you're in the U.S. Jeremy is in rainy Florida. I'm in hot Austin, Texas. So extra hot today. So yeah, everyone, if you want, just drop in some of your questions. Again, I'm just going to talk a little bit about LinkedIn. Like I said, I'm going to try to go crazy here. I'm going to try to share my screen, walk you all through some different kind of cool things that we're working on. So let's see if I can really mess this up really bad. Like I said, so do me a favor. If you're on Zoom, just drop your questions in the chat or in the Q&A. I'll be taking a look. If you're on LinkedIn, just drop your questions in there. Again, I'm going to try to cover some very basic things on LinkedIn. I'm going to try to cover the profile, how you should think about your profile. I'm gonna try to cover some of the details around what I think from a posting strategy. If you're ever nervous to post or scared to post, what's up, Toronto? What's up, MIA? What's up, Moore? How are you doing, man? Hope you're doing well. We got to catch up, man. Can you talk about SDR? Of course, Luan, I can talk about SDR. So tell me exactly what you want me to talk about on the SDR side. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to share my screen. And let's see how this works. So for the first time ever, I'm gonna try to do what's called a double screen share. So I can't, I might just break Zoom here. So hold on a sec, let's see. All right. Oh shoot, oh, this is great. Wow, they've got the comments coming in live now. This is awesome. Okay, let me try to see if this works. So again, everyone, I'm just trying to do some stuff here. Screen 2, move this over so it doesn't break the internet completely. Share screen 2, boom. Okay. All right, so if you want to join via Zoom, it's going to be the same since it's just me pretty much. So you guys will have to tell me. The LinkedIn Live looks like it's just a little blurry, but I mean, I'm literally got 4 different videos. My camera's about to have a heart attack right now. But do me a favor, let me know if you all can see, let me pull this over on main screen 2. Let me know on both LinkedIn and Zoom if you can see my screen here. So if you guys can see it, just drop me a quick thumbs up, drop a like in there. If you're on Zoom, just let me know real quick. Because I thought this would be it would be fun to try to walk you all through this. So this is what all right, so Luana's brand new to being an SDR, so she's like, whatever you can tell me. Oh, look at this, man. I think it's actually working. This is kind of great. So, all right, I'm gonna go to the very top. Just walk through this with one of our clients. So, yeah. So look, I don't get out in the field as much anymore. I don't do as much of the trainings, but hey, I try to make it happen for you guys. So, okay, cool. So it sounds like my folks on Zoom are all set. It's great. It sounds like all my folks on LinkedIn can see it because I can see it in there. Again, all my Zoom folks, feel free to drop your questions. All my LinkedIn folks, I've got both pulled up. So no matter where you're at, I got you. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the profile too. So I just want to call out just some like things that I think are most important. So here's what I want you to think about. So Luana, you're new to being an SDR, for example. You got to think about, you want your buyers to want to meet with you. And what I mean by that is, like, do you guys think anyone is super excited to meet with a senior account executive at XYZ? Or, hey, I can't wait to meet with a whatever at a whatever, right? So what I want all of you to think about is, like, your headline, I posted about this yesterday, right? Is your headline and your profile pic have a direct impact on the amount of meetings that you set. And I know that this sounds crazy, etc., but just think about it. You send a connection request to somebody, okay? They see your picture and it's like a bad picture with bad lighting, or they see, and then they see a headline that says account executive. So I'm a director of operations at XYZ company, and I see a senior account executive at blah, blah, blah. They already know you're trying to sell them. So, here's just some examples of some of like our clients and other people. So again, just think enterprise sales at Workday turns into like what you do. So I help HR executives maximize retention, right? So that should be like very, very helpful, something to think about. Again, drop your very specific questions. If you got a question about your profile, if I'm feeling crazy here, we might try to, I don't know, maybe I'll try to pull some of your profiles up for those of you who are brave. So John Smith here, I don't really like this, like generate leads. The only reason is this is getting really overused on LinkedIn. And so a lot of people now, but you guys get the gist of this. So you guys see what I'm saying here? So imagine the difference between, just email marketing specialist, senior account executive, and I'm an expert at XYZ, and these are the outcomes that I try to provide. This is like a really like dumb basic formula. Like, don't quite use this exact example. A lot of people are kind of picking up on this, so use like a variation, which is like helping X do X through Y, right? So that's how I'd think about it. So again, if you guys want, go ahead, feel free, drop your LinkedIn profile. All right, we've got some people being some very brave volunteers. I just love this. I got it. AR, I think I can click on his real quick. Let me try to. All right, so I'll pull up a couple here. Why not? It's Memorial Day. Got time. Okay, let me see if you all right, here we go. So here's Gerard. I need to pull up here real quick. I need to go back to the video. LinkedIn does not make this easy on you, that's for damn sure. There is the video here. There it is. Okay, I can pull a few others. Said, judge me. Kevin Wilson, what's up, Kevin? Kevin's always up for us. All right, so here's Gerard's. So his is LinkedIn coach, sales trainer, and the person you hire to get customers excited about your product or service. Look, I think overall this is strong. Like your profiles, your picture is super approachable. This last part though, it's like, I got excited, LinkedIn coach, sales trainer, and the person you hire to get customers excited about your product or service just feels that it like goes back to generic. So could you be more specific, right? Like get excited about, it working with like the most fun people on the planet. I just feel like there's a little bit more that you could do here. Look, you're kind of doing some social validation here that, you've got people up here, especially if you're reaching out to individuals, the idea that it's $50. If I was reaching out to companies, I'd probably kill this, because then a company might be like, this is like $50. Like, how cheap is this thing? So I'll try to just do a couple more. So what are the tools that you use? Okay, Arun, I'll try to get to that. Definitely will cover commenting on people's posts. Let me just pull up another one. This is from my folks over on Zoom. What's up, all my folks on Zoom? This is Andre. What's up, Andre? Got a funny, there's this guy, I don't know, that guy, I don't have enough time to tell this story, but I had a guy who lived in our building. He had a friend named Andre who tried to like jump the fence into our like private patio, and he kept screaming, "It's me, Andre." So I've got like a very specific, Jake, let me in, it's me, Andre. So, all right. So I would just say for me, you got to, like, the picture's too dark. Like the picture to me here is just, and I don't know how it's come across for the rest of you, it's just like, it just looks not, it's okay to like not look super professional, but the picture is too dark. Agile digital business development, I don't think that that's actually too bad. Maybe you could just be a little bit more specific with what that means. Agile digital business, I could guess, but it would be, maybe it's more like about the outcomes, like working with organizations to go like, the real type of agile or something like that. Something that's like, a little bit more descriptive. You're just making assumptions. And look, we all kind of know what agile digital business might mean, but that would be kind of another one. All right, last one. I'm sorry, guys, I don't have too much time here, but I'll try to go through a few of these. So what's up, Gallum? And by the way, thank you, Gallum. Gallum sent me a very nice message over the weekend. So I really appreciated that. She sent me a nice message about getting a lot of help on LinkedIn. So I appreciate you. So I like the picture. It's great. Like it's like fun, but professional. Bring higher educate into their student payment experience, passion. I would probably go remake this in Canva or something that's a little bit higher from a design standpoint. I like the concept here, but you can use Canva or some other sites that will like up the design. Because I feel like if you matched the what do you call it, the picture with something a little bit higher design, I think it would have like a little bit more of an effect. Breaking barriers for more inclusive and for a more inclusive education experience. So let's see. So what would I say here? So I get it. I'm guessing that you're helping universities that aren't. It's just a little confusing because it talks to me about student payment, but then it talks to me about inclusive education. So my kind of gut here is like, I'm kind of confused. So does she help with payment solutions, or is she more of a consulting firm that's helping inclusive and diverse communities for women in sales or for education? So I think here's the key. On LinkedIn, you can be multiple people. So you can be whoever you want, right? And so it's okay to even have one or two audiences. What I would say though is, it's kind of like, I would pick one, like again, especially if you're doing a lot of outreach to people, that I would maybe make part of yours, because I think you can have both, but it might, but the headline right now doesn't really speak to your, like the work that you do. So if you're reaching out on LinkedIn as a buyer, I might be confused. So that's what's up, Gallum. I like it. I think again, higher production here, and then just help to weave these narratives together. And I'm sure this is something you think about all the time. So, all right, I'm sorry, guys. If I'm going to try to get through this, I can't go through all of your profiles. I would love to. DM me if I've got a chance. I'll try to do my best. But what I'll do too is I'll pull up some other, I'll try to pull up some different examples of, what do you call it? Like posts, like I'll try to pull up some more live examples. So don't worry, I still might get to you and might give you some insights there. Again, everyone, just do me a favor if you want to tag some of your coworkers in, tag them in if you're on LinkedIn. If you're on Zoom, I appreciate you. I've got a really good audience here on Zoom for being Memorial Day weekend. So I really appreciate you all taking the time to tune in and better yourselves. So I didn't get into this, but also think about your summary section. So your summary section, when you think about this, it's talking about, again, the outcomes that you drive versus who you are necessarily. I mean, the two are kind of intertwined, but I hope that makes sense, where you don't want to talk about like, I am a world leading sales leader who I've hit 125% to quota, or I work with some of the most leading VPs of operations to help them with logistics efficiency, throughput, and contribution margin, right? So it's like, do you want to talk about the outcomes you produce, or do you want to talk about who you are, right? And that's for all of you who are using LinkedIn for sales. So Gallum, I'm glad that was helpful. The other is the featured section. So again, everyone, please, please, please make sure you update your featured section. The really cool part about this is it doesn't have to just be your content. Think about your LinkedIn profile. For a lot of you, go Google your first name and last name, right? Go Google your name. And for a lot of you, LinkedIn is going to be the #1 result. And so what I want you to kind of think about LinkedIn is now kind of your own website. For those of you who don't have, jakedunlap.com or whatever your own personal website is, think of LinkedIn as that hub. LinkedIn is the hub for me. I do have a personal website too, but we put, kind of all of our best content here first. So again, I want you all to think about that, in your featured section, you could pull in a third-party article that you liked from some type of other, what do you call it? Like other site or other, third party. You can pull in stuff that your company's putting at, your own thoughts. Think about this right here, guys. This is a new feature, guys. This is literally less than a month old. It's like 3 weeks old. You can now pin your top posts. So, then people, that gives social proof, man. We got a lot of people here that there's a rep. Actually, let me show you this guy so you guys can get a quick sense, because I'm kind of jumping ahead to engagement. But I just want to give you a sense of it. So if you have to drop early, you can at least get a little bit about Lior. Oh man, Lior. Lior had any clue just how often I'm just like pulling him up. Where is? Trying to find it. Is that him? Dang it. Now I can't find him all of a sudden. Too many Liors. He used to be the very first person that popped up for me. Anyway, so this guy's an SDR. So this is for Luana, right? She said she's going to be brand new to being an SDR. So basically all he did, and he doesn't have a big following, is he sells into legal. Oh, actually, you know, I just remember what companies. Yeah. So anyway, long story short, what he does is he just made up an article, you know, like, and basically from that article, he ended up like basically DMing that article to a whole bunch of people. Oh, I found him. Here you go. There's Leor. Okay, so y'all can see my screen again. So again, this guy's an SDR. So what he did though is he just said 10 implications for this. It's got 25 likes, 20 comments, like not a ton. You know, it's not like a crazy engagement. But you can see here now, imagine he's reaching out to different legal tech people. And he said, hey, maybe you'd enjoy this article I just put out. He got 2 meetings from this, by the way, in the first week. 2 meetings from sending this out to people. So he's using this as a part of his DM strategy, right? How cool is that? But this guy took the time, again, it's like 800 words, y'all. This is like a couple hours for most people, if not an hour. And so he just took like some white papers and stuff that he read. He just turned it in at quick 1 through 10. And now he's using this, and he did like, you know, look at him. He's very good at sorting his sites or sources. What's cool is here's his company, Verbit, but you can see here he brought in a lot of third-party data to make this article a little bit more rich. So now imagine, now let's go back to your engagement strategies. Now I can just DM this article to somebody, right? And now my question for you is how much more likely, how much does that do to your street cred? So Luana, like this is you, you're brand new to being an SDR, aggregate this featured section, you know, fill it out, go look at what your CEO has on his or her LinkedIn and try to fill it out that way. So I think for all of you, this is something that you can take action on pretty quickly. You know, you don't have to be too crazy here. So then you can kind of highlight it in your featured section. Yes, Luana, this is his article. He took the time to write it. So that's the cool part. So just a couple of things I'll talk about the LinkedIn algorithm. Most of you aren't spamming. So candidly, I'm just going to skip ahead of some of this stuff. Like you're not using 85 links, tagging 32 people, posting like 24/7. Although LinkedIn is coming out with stories, just as an FYI. This is like already happening. It's on the roadmap. You'll see LinkedIn stories coming out here sooner than later, which is pretty cool. So, okay, cool. So here we go. So the things to think about, what do you call it? The things that, good, Phil. I'm glad you're getting some stuff out of this. What's up to Phil? We're doing a workshop for Phil's company, Hack Day. If you guys haven't checked, if you're an international startup and you guys at all are thinking about, you know, the US or scaling, you should hit up Phil. That's a lot of what his company does. So, you know, using around 3 hashtags is good. Format your post so it's easy to read. I'll give you all some examples of that. Post things that encourage a response. You know, look, I'm not a huge fan of questions. I've found that if you just purely ask a question, you're going to be pretty disappointed most of the time. Where, you know, you'll be like, oh man, nobody responded, I suck. You know, because again, just think about it. Like a question requires, most people are lurkers. Most people like to hit the like button or hit the comment button. So, you know, if you're making me do some work, I might be less likely to actually comment on it. So just something to think about for, you know, for everybody. All right, here we go. Sorry guys, I was just changing over to where I could see everyone on LinkedIn Live too. So again, love this. LinkedIn's golden hour. This is just something to know. LinkedIn, how well your post does. And by the way, this is the same as Instagram and like basically every social media platform. They look at how your posts do in the first hour, and then they try to see, like then they'll show it to more people or not. So the first hour, that's why, you know, sharing within your company is really important. Making sure that, you know, you share it with them so then they can actually see like what's happening. That's important to try to get initial traction. So what happens on LinkedIn in the first hour has a direct correlation to how your post performs overall. It's just something for you all to think about. Let's see here. Yeah. So again, you can just, just think about this. What LinkedIn will look at is your personal connections. How relevant is it based on, again, like the language of the post, the people and topics mentioned in it, and then how likely based on their algorithm are you to engage. So again, as you're starting to think about the algorithm, you got to think about that stuff. Like, what are the keywords that it has? What are the people that are involved in it? Like all that stuff. So all these things are really important when it comes to the algorithm. So I would, you don't also pander to the algorithm. So don't like stress out too much on that. So yeah, that's what I would call out there around like the algorithm. So again, everyone, just keep dropping your questions in here. We're getting a lot of really good engagement. Like, really appreciate you guys tuning in on Memorial Day. I'm going to go for about another 20 minutes or so. Then I got to go grab burgers at the store. And Austin, we're starting to get back away from social. We're still social distancing, of course, but maybe you'll have a little barbecue here or there. Not with more than like 3 people. So don't worry, I'll be safe. Okay. Sourcing your content. So this is probably the other question I get more than anything is, Jake, like, where do you come up with ideas for content? And I'm just going to give you all 2 very, very easy pieces. Also, how about this? If you guys want us to take a look at your content live, or you've got some posts and you're like, Jake, I don't know why this post didn't do well. Jake, like, hey, here's a post I did. It did really well. Like, what are your thoughts? So I would go ahead. I would go ahead and do something like that. So let's see, Jordan, covering anything specific for new grads. So Jordan asked a question here about new grads. Yeah, so Jordan, if you're a new grad, just real quick, I'll just kind of sit on this for a second. I would really suggest, again, just thinking about the jobs that you want to get, the jobs that you want as like your first steps. So if you want to get a job in sales, well, then make sure your profile, and then in what industry, maybe it's like, I'm passionate about, working with HR folks. My mom was in HR for 10 years and blah, blah, blah. I'm working with finance, but maybe if you're a new grad, you're just more focused on sales. If I was a brand new grad, I'd probably try to focus my time on sales and like just showing that I'm an expert. The other thing, I've got it right here. So if you guys didn't see, this is a video I put out. This says, what does it say? How do you sell hockey in the Arizona sun? So I made this back in 2005. When I got my first job with the Tampa Bay Rays in 2003, I made the exact same thing, right? So when I was a new grad, what I did, guys, and one of my professors gave me this idea and it worked. And I was literally the only, like, I was like one of just a couple of people that got my first job. In the Phoenix job, they flew in 34 other people. I was the only person that got the job. So Jordan, what I did is I put together a plan for what I would do in the role. And this is before I ever even got hired. And I did this for my first job in Tampa. I got the job. Did it for my first job in Phoenix. I got the job. Did it for my first leadership job at Career Builder. And I got the job. I'd only been there for 4 months. This woman had been there for 2.5 years. So what I'm pointing out is you got to come to the interview prepared. I came to the interview, or if I was trying to reach out to a hiring manager of a job that I really wanted, I would go on G2 and say, hey, John, I see that you guys are one of the top 3 ranked. It looks like compared to your competitors, you do this, etc. If I was to sell for you, I would really hone in on these 2 or 3 things. I hope that gives you an idea that even though I'm a new grad, here's how I can add value to your business. Job. Nobody's doing this. 99% of job seekers are just clicking apply. Like, my friends, you got to stand out from the crowd. I just did an IGTV on this last night. So maybe if you want Ali Ray, you can drop in my Instagram. You guys can go check that out. Give it a little like or a little love. But it just talks through my journey and how I use that to get a job. So that's for all my job seekers out there. Just some ideas on how to differentiate yourself. So I digress a little bit. More talks about ideas from other people's comments and other people's posts. I love that idea. So coming up with, when you're sourcing contests, look at other posts, look how people are interacting. I love that idea. He uses Quora. I like that too. So those are just questions that people are answering. You can see like the most popular questions too, and that'll probably even make your engagement more likely. The 2 that I always bring up are your current company's ebooks or blogs. So if you do work at a company, they're putting out content, it's probably really boring and it's not getting any engagement. So what you can just do is pull out the 2 or 3 insights that you want people to take away as a part of it. So that's the easiest. So like, instead of, let's say you guys did a blog post. And again, what I'd love to do is if you guys want to just drop some of the links to your articles or your posts in the comments and in the chat, that'll be really amazing. I can literally just go click on those and I can go show people some examples live. But the reason that a lot of content, doesn't get traction is LinkedIn doesn't like you to take people off the site. So when you reshare your company stuff, that's why it doesn't get any engagement. So always make sure that you're sharing some of like original insights. right? Just share, you know, 1, 2, 3. Hey, so if you're trying to think about employee engagement post-COVID, here are the top 3 things you need to know. 1, 2, 3, right? And then just, you know, and then in the comments, you could say like, I'm really proud of what my team at Brain Trust is doing around XYZ. So just make sure that you're always, you know, that's what you want to call out. So yeah, Jeff called it out. You know, when you're job seeking, because there's a lot of people out there looking for jobs right now. Look, if you're job seeking, I think it is going to be one of the hardest times to get a job in sales in the next 6 to 12 months, and not any job, but your dream job. And I think that's why you really got to stand out. So go watch that video on Instagram. AR, I don't know if you're still in here or not, but we'll drop the Instagram link. Actually, if you go to jakedunlap.com, you can find it there too. So go to jakedunlap.com and then click on Instagram. Okay. All right. So Ashley Corlett, can you go ahead and drop your link for LinkedIn so I can pull it up? So Ashley volunteered for me to take a look at her post, which is great. I'm happy to do that. And then the second thing, so step 1 is look at your company blogs. The second is a lot of you are in sales or talking to people a lot of the time. Just take from those insights. So just like Moore's idea, where you look at comments on other people's posts. What I do is like, let's say I have a conversation with Moore and we talk about sales leadership, right? We talk about whatever. That's a post. I'm like, cool. Here's 2 things that, you know, if you're new to sales leadership that you need to think about. 1, 2. So I try to draw inspiration from things that happen. So then I document. So guys, what I do, everyone, I use Evernote on my phone and I just toss in new ideas to Evernote. So I'm just like, boom, hey, you know, check it out on Evernote, you know, like let's say I start to come up with an idea for a post and I'm like, well, that post, you know, or I start writing a post on LinkedIn and I'm like, well, that kind of sucks and I'm just not feeling it. So it's like Evernote is where like my ideas come from. So there you go. If you do that, you can find that. You can find some stuff. So, all right, cool. Well, let's just go ahead and take a look at a couple of posts here. Just so you know, this is something I think would be helpful is text-based posts. Oh, here we go. What did I just do here? Oh my gosh, this is great. I'm filling out all kinds of new stuff here on what you can do here on what is this? On StreamYard. This is cool. Okay, so Nadia, let me pull your post up real quick since you volunteered yourself, which is fantastic. Oh, look at that. See, yeah, look at that. I can pull up like a little thing. Look at that. Figuring stuff out on the fly here. All right, so let's pull up Nadia's post. So just what I was getting ready to say is text-only posts, guys, really over-index. So I'm just going to go, and this is why, by the way, Nadia, I really appreciate you being brave here and let me take a look at it. All right, there you go. Got a little drizzy. There we go. I'll take that. Here's my post. I'm not going to attack it. I'm going to be, look, I'm going to be nice. So posts. Okay, so let's go to your post here. Happy Monday, everyone. Let's kickstart the week strong. Biggest yeah, here we go. I like this. Yeah, this is great. Yep. So yeah, this is really great. The thing, so here's the thing too. Just so you guys know, when you put links in posts, LinkedIn again, let's just see where this link takes me. Yeah, it's to your company stuff. So in the future, I would try some posts, Nadia, that just don't include the company link. Just go ahead and, yeah, go ahead and just like share your own thoughts, right? So like see here, well, hold on, let me see if you did it. Yeah, so again, you're sharing out a link. So, I mean, I think you're doing a really good job. I mean, you're using emojis. We found consistently using a couple of emojis is a good idea. You know, looking for the best sales product, would be great to have a go-to playbook. Yeah, here's some strategies. The key thing too is just so you don't get high in your own supply, you know, you just always click hold on, click this. And then if like everyone who likes your post is from your own company, and it's like, but that's not necessarily the case here, which is great for you. 3 easy tips to implement in cold calling. And right, you, okay, makes sense. Yeah, this is great. Dude, Nadia, you're doing great, right? So all of you should just be doing what she's doing, right? The key thing here is that if you also then, if you start to just have, I think your big thing, if I'm just kind of being, and you, by the way, this is exactly, I'd say what like 90% of our clients are doing, is they always have the article as almost like a crutch, where it's like, they feel more confident or comfortable if it's like, it's not quite their own idea, it's like mostly their own idea. So I would try to mix in a little bit more of the, what do you call it? I would try to mix in just your original thoughts. So that's it. I think you're doing a really good job though. Like overall, like you could also try to do some non-meme stuff, like try to mix in like just pure text only. I think that would be helpful. So I'm gonna take a look at another one here, but I hope that helps, Naja. But again, you're totally on the right track. I think just more of, can you just borrow the insights and just share your own thoughts? You know, can you also share a little more vulnerability maybe? And again, I'm just kind of getting nitpicky, honestly, because you're doing a lot of really good things that are more around, yeah, like nitpicky stuff that's like how you messed up, like how someone hung up on you or was, you know, wronged you or something like that. You know, any of that type of stuff would be helpful. So cool. All right. So here, Ashley, it was the biggest promotion of my life. As the top of my class, master one to watch the day they arrived. Promotion. Okay, so this is about swimming. Yeah, the key with yours, Ashley, is maybe just try to make one point. I think like you've got a couple different ideas in some of these. I have 2 things planned for tomorrow. You know, I would just try to share a little bit more insights here. Like this would just be like, for me, you know, yeah, by the way, just so you know, the other thing about cutting, yeah, you're ticking your tongue out. This is it. Yeah, I don't know, man. This is what I had a chef. We did a cooking class with my wife. This is what she said too. I think it was a placebo effect. So my thought is like the posts are maybe like you could shorten them and maybe make 1 or 2 points. So what I really love about what you're doing is like you're getting vulnerable and you're putting yourself out there, man. But what I would also try to do, I would try to see if you can just like narrow your points that you're trying to make. So I think that would probably be helpful for you. Okay, I'll do one more here from a content standpoint, and then let's get into engagement strategies because I'm sure a lot of you want to talk a little engagement. So Moore says, my struggle is focusing my content around a niche. Should I post for sales leaders or should I post for the salesperson? Should I post for the industry that I'm currently in, and should I do a mix of all? So this is a great question here. So I'm just going to copy and paste it into Zoom for all my Zoom friends up in here. Just do this so you guys can see his question too. So here's my thought is the question that you're asking is the right question, because you know, everyone needs to be very deliberate about who they want their audience to be, right? So who do you want your audience to be on LinkedIn? That's what you have to think about. And so for a lot of you, what's up, dude? I'm on video. What battery? What do you mean? No, you got to go downstairs. I'll come get him later.
Papa wants to see if it's the right battery.
I'll go show him later. My son's on FaceTime with our grandparents, and like he has to come up here and ask me like what the right battery is. I'll come down there later, buddy. I'll help you. I will show him. Okay. Our smoke alarm's going off, so he has to fix it right now. So, all right, it's Memorial Day, right? So, all right, so here's my point to Moore to kind of close out his the posting whole idea here is when you get in the mix, you know, when you got to think about who you want to be. So Moore, for example, there's 2 different ways that you could take it. Moore's a sales leader for you guys who don't know. So as a sales leader, talking about sales could be more applicable because you want to recruit top talent. So talking about the impact, talking about the promotions, that could be super, super applicable. Now on the flip side, Moore, if you're more client facing, then your buyers aren't going to care about that. So here's how I want you to think about it. The best people that get the most traction across every social media platform, right? They're consistent. They don't go this. They're consistent. So I would just think about creating more of a system for yourself that's more of a breakdown. So let's say you want to do 60% of your content around, you know, for your buyers because you are more buyer centric, and, you know, 30% for your industry and 10% for salespeople. Whatever that is, just be purposeful about it. So people know Moore's the guy I go to if I want to know about this and this thing. And the closer that those things are together, then they amplify each other more. The farther they are apart, the more confused your audience gets. So you got to think about it. If I was out here, look, I know sales, marketing, leadership, that's it. I don't sit there and talk about the stock market. I'm not like some people on Twitter who like then talk about, like I talk about like the same shit over and over again. Maybe on Twitter, maybe IG, I'll mix in some stuff. But for the most part, I stay in my lane. And what that does is it creates consistency with the community. And so that's what all of you have to think is like, you can be whoever you want. I'm not going to tell you who you should be on LinkedIn. You guys can do and be and act however you want. But you got to think about your audience. Your audience, you know, is trying to get to know you. And it's tough to get to know you if every other post is something different. So this is a post that did really well last week. This is, so that's what's up more. I hope that helps. So again, just be deliberate about who you want your LinkedIn audience to be. And Gallum, I think this is a good one for you too, right? Because you're doing a lot of like the diversity and inclusion pieces around education and women in sales. And you're also doing, you know, you sell a software too. So you got to kind of balance that and just think if you want your audience to be educators, that this other stuff might not play as well. And you got to be okay with that. So that's my advice for everyone is, you know, be whoever you want to be, but understand the more segmented it is the more difficult it is, you know, for your audience, right? As a part of that. So I hope that helps. Again, all right, so I'm going to spend about 10 more minutes here. This is a good example. This post was a good post because again, a little provocative, blah, blah, blah. It's too open right now. I used some proof here. This is like actual data from our clients. This is no bullshit. And then from an extra help, the rep whose data this was chimed in and said like, you know, hashtag truth. So it was, you know, like that's always a good sign there. But you know, yeah, that's how I would think about this stuff is that it's, you know, like Ashley, for example, you've got a lot of the things that you're doing here, but make one point versus trying to make two. And I've consistently seen that in my own content. Sometimes I'm on some rant or some shit and, you know, people get confused and don't like it as much. Okay, so do me a favor, by show of likes on LinkedIn or raising your hand on Zoom, how many of you have LinkedIn Sales Navigator? Because a lot of what I'm going to try to do is show you all some tips, some tricks around Sales Navigator in particular. And here's the next thing that I'll tell all of you. Luana, you're new to SDR, so I'll keep calling you out a little bit here. Sales Navigator is the most no-brainer thing that I would come out of pocket for on day one. If my company did not have LinkedIn Sales Navigator, I would come out of pocket all day, $79 a month. Okay, good. On LinkedIn, a lot of you have Sales Nav. Great, perfect, wonderful. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys tips on Sales Navigator because candidly, I think it's what you need to learn. And if I was a modern seller, and like I said, my company didn't have it, guys, I'd have no problem coming out of pocket for it. I don't know what else to tell y'all. Like, and then the other thing would be a sales engagement platform like Outreach or SalesLoft or Groove or Reply or something. I mean, we're a big Outreach supporter, we also like big folks at SalesLoft too, but we just do a lot more Outreach deployments. So I'm just going to show you all a couple of things on Sales Navigator here that I think will be helpful. Let's make sure can everyone still see my screen. Yes, you can. Wonderful. All right, so a couple different things here with Sales Navigator that I'll try to show you, and then we'll hop in. Okay, y'all should be able to see my screen. Give me 1 second. All right, so, okay, here we go. I'm gonna hop in now and I'm gonna show you some just tips that a lot of you might kind of know already. So it's okay. It's never hurts to. Okay, so here we go. So we'll go to save searches. These are just some searches that I saved from a while ago. So there's plenty of stuff in here that'll be helpful. Okay, so step one is basically creating a saved search or a list in LinkedIn Nav. Okay, so when I think about this stuff here is the first thing that everyone asks me about. Okay, that is around connection requests. Okay, so here's where it's the most controversial thing that I don't know. Probably one of the most controversial things that I talk about is around connection requests. My advice, okay, and it's just because of data, okay, and because I'll just show you. Here is what most of you should do. Okay, so obviously these people I probably have already done this with. Connect, send. Connect, send. Connect, send. okay? I just connected with 3 people in 12 seconds, okay? 12 seconds. Do you know how long? And just so you know, so my math, my record here, I can connect with 82 people in 12 minutes. And that's, you know, I get a little distracted every once in a while, just by doing it this way. All of you should do it this way first. Then if there's somebody in your list that didn't accept, then you withdraw their request and send a personalized connection. So imagine if I was going to send a personalized connection request to everybody, it'd take me like 2 or 3 minutes for every person, because I got to look at their LinkedIn profile, probably 5 minutes. So in 12 minutes, I could send out 82 connection requests, or I could send out 4. Guys, like, there's no way I lose. I win 100% of the time. So then what you can do is, if you go back into, see if you got some questions here too. Yeah, no message. Ashley, that's correct. No message. No message, guys. Again, if you guys do a better job of having a better headline and a better pick, you know, my accept rate's between 60 to 70% blind, right? Now, and sometimes, you know, depending on the campaign, it's higher. So if yours is 30 or 40%, right? Why wouldn't you? Even if it's 30 or 40, yes. So Phil's question was, don't you have to wait 3 weeks before resending? Yes, you do. So basically you just unrequest, and then you come back to that person in your list and you send a personalized message. So, and those of you who don't know, let me just show you something real quick here. LinkedIn. If you want to know how to unrequest, I'm just going to show you that real quick. So you go to my network up here. Go to see all. And then you go to send. And then you can just hit withdraw. So you can just withdraw. So yeah, I hope that's helpful. So that's our connection request strategy. If you guys have any other questions about it, feel free to drop them in the comments. I'll give you my 2 cents on it. You know what I'm going to do too? I'm going to show you guys another one of our plays here. LinkedIn's just having like a moment. Let me just pull it up. Come on. Okay. So this is another one of our plays, just so you all know, like that we do from an engagement standpoint. So this is another reason why sharing content is so important. I'm going to come back to sales now, but any of you can do this. That we have 2 plays that we run that any of you can run. The first is inbound connection requests. In an ideal world, right, I would want everyone to come inbound as a connection request. If you come inbound as a connection request, do you know the likelihood that you set a meeting with me? It's really high, right? Like, you reached out to me to connect. So for example, so what we do is we have a team. I've got one guy named Connor, and then he's got an assistant. Yes, Mohammed, you're correct. When you draw, it does not allow for you to send for 30 days. So that is correct. It's 3 weeks, not 30 days, just 3 weeks. So what we do here is anytime we get an inbound request, like from somebody like Jeff. So Jeff's a VP of Revenue Ops at Seduxo. Like, this is probably someone I want to meet with. So what will happen is we'll accept and then come right back over the top with a message. So just always check. And again, anytime that you see in here someone who's interesting to you, then that's whenever you come back over the top with an invite. The other thing is, if you always take a look at, yeah, there you go. So Moore just gave a quick tip here for all my folks on LinkedIn. If you're on Zoom, he says, look, just from him interacting and dropping stuff in the comments, he's already got 10 inbound connection requests. Boom. So again, if you just go out on LinkedIn and you interact, that's going to help to increase the number of inbound connect requests that you get. So just something, again, here you go. But here's the people I ignore. So just so you guys want to know. Okay, so this gets an automatic ignore from me. Because guess what? Times are challenging. I hope is weathering the storm. I already know Sarah. There's a 100% chance Sarah is going to DM me right after this. Like, I'm telling you guys, it is the #1 way. Like, here you go. Someone says, hey, I love your content. Now, this guy is the man. So Miles, I'm going to connect with. Dear Jake, we've never met, but I was looking for professionals who are in your area who came up as a match. I'd love to learn. Ignore. Right? And why you get ignored with all this copy and paste bullshit, guys, is because, like, I know it. Here we go. Here's another one. How are things at scale? The wondering if closing new business is a priority for you this quarter. Oh yeah, it is, Irina. Nope. Right? Like, I'm telling you guys, like, if you send that copy and paste bullshit, no, like as an executive, I'm never going to accept it because I know what comes next. There's a 99.9% chance Irina is immediately going to DM me. So that's why it's like hyper customized or nothing. The in-between is what every leader now knows, we've just been trained, is that you're going to spam my ass. So hope that helps for you guys too. I think it's an interesting, I'd like to add, always refreshing to be able to add new people with exciting careers. Yeah, this sounds great. SEO, there's a 99% chance Nancy was getting ready to DM my ass about like, I can help you with SEO. No thanks, Nancy. You seem like a very lovely person. But so just imagine that. It's a combination, right? Headshot, headline, then you either send no message. You can see here, most people send me no message. I'm fine with that. You know, so anyway, except that, I don't even know what it is, but I like Casey. Okay, so that's cool. So hopefully that helps. Now back to Sales Navigator, and then I got to bounce to go enjoy my day. So I hope that helps for all of you. So, all right, let's hop in here real quick here. As we go into it, I always ignore people with summaries that say, are you looking for leads? Oh yeah, Olga, those are the worst. What's up, Olga? Long time no chat. We'll talk to Olga in a minute. If you are a startup and you need like accounting / CFO, chief of staff, hit up Olga. That's her jam. She's like a weird mix in a good way between like accounting, but also chief of staff. We've had a lot of good conversations over the years, so hit her up. Okay, so a couple other things I want you to think about. This is a honeypot right here, okay? So change jobs in the last 90 days. I am telling you, when people are, when people are looking to make change, there's a big opportunity if you're there in the first 90 days. When you're in your first 90 days at a job, you are actively going to make change. Your first 30 days, so just imagine how I would change the message. First 30 days, I know they're drinking through a fire hose, right? Oh, by the way, guys, never send a LinkedIn InMail unless you absolutely have to. So never, ever, ever. The response rate between getting someone as a first degree connection at DM versus InMail DM is super, super low. So never, ever, ever send an InMail unless you absolutely have to. So just apart. Love you too, Olga. I'm glad. I hope that helps. I hope you guys hit up Olga. So change jobs in the last 90 days, guys. This is a gold mine. So after you run, if you're in your first 30 days, I'd say, hey, Michael, I know you're in your first 30 days. You're probably drinking through a fire hose. But if in the next 2 to 3 weeks, you start to think about employee engagement, and that's going to be an important part as you scale, let's set up some time toward the end of June. I'm open June 23rd if that works. Boom. Look, this person gets it. They know in my first 30 days, I'm not doing shit. But my next 60, my next 90 days, then I'm going to start to make change. So use this. This one is killer, okay? The next here, post it in the last. Okay, so this is where you guys, this is where you're going to go make your money right now, everybody. Okay, this is where you're going to make big, big, big money is through this one. Post it on LinkedIn in the last 30 days, okay? This is so money. Everyone, like you guys have to be doing this. So here you go, because here, oh God, watch this. So most people, guys, get no comments on their content. Zero, none. So guess what? I clop on in here to Glenn. What's up, Glenn? If you guys know Glenn, tell him to hit me up for a meeting here. Right? Here you go. Great article for data-driven marketers. Oh, look at that. No engagement. Guys, most executives get no, like might get some likes, but they get no comments. So I'm telling you, if I go and I'm like, okay, hold on, let's be a believer. Love this. Marketing data can be manipulated in different ways. It's about the right data. 100. Bam. All right, there we go. Boom. I guarantee you, here's what's happening right now. Glenn, he's on Memorial Day weekend. Glenn might be out on the golf course. Glenn probably, he looks like a golfer to me, right? He's out there. And you know what he does? He's like, huh, who's Jacob? Who's Jake Dunlap? Who's this guy? Guaranteed, 100% chance. Glenn is now very confused at what is happening. Then I go to his other posts. So here's the thing. That's why if you have a sales engagement platform, I can slow play this. What you don't want to do is be too obvious about it, right? If all of a sudden I get like 800 likes, he's like, okay, this guy's trying to like game me here. Okay, so his last post before that was a month ago. So I'm not gonna post, I'm not gonna do anything else. I'm just gonna toss a like. So I tossed a like, I tossed a comment. He got no engagement on it, now he did that. Do you guys think Glenn remembers who I am now? Yes, he does. So then when I go and I do the connection request, guess what Glenn's likelihood to accept is? Breep, breep, right? Just like that. So there's that. And just so I can prove a point here, and I have not, just so you guys know, I haven't looked at any of these people's profile. I'm like a magician. I'm like, I've looked at nobody's profile. I don't know anybody in the audience, right? So Ashley, I would frame the conversation with a 90-dayer. I would just say, hey, you've been in the office for 90 days, your role. This is about the time I see executives start to make changes. If this is top of mind, let me know if there's interest. So that's what I do. Okay, let's see here. Make sure I click on my thing here, my filter. Let's check out Rona. I think that's how you pronounce it, probably not. And 2 for 2. So these are vice presidents of sales, VPs of sales of companies with over 200 people. They get no love, nothing. Here we go. Beep. Okay, learning and forgetting provides an exact solution for the transit of all-time marketing. Not anymore. Customer behavior is changed forever. Adapting the algorithm, which I always butcher this word for them. All marketers. I have no clue. I'm just reading a couple little insights into here. So there you go. Boom. Guys, that was 2 people I clicked on completely randomly who had no likes and no comments on their last share. I'm telling you now, guess what, guys? Now I'm not going to DM her. This is the real slow play, because then I'll just come back in a week and I'll see if she's posted again. And if she posts again, I'll like and comment on that. Then I will wait 2 days and then I'll either cold call or DM. That's the play. This is the future, guys. That's why LinkedIn has to be at the front of every single one. Right? No, of course, Antonio, of course, engage. You don't think Rona wants engagement on her on her, what do you call it? Like, do you don't think Rona wants likes and comments? Of course she does. She's a human being. Everybody, she wouldn't bother to post if she didn't want someone to like toss a like on there. So executives 100% engage on LinkedIn. Out of 820 VPs in New York with over between 51 and 500, almost a third of them have posted in the last 30 days. The rest of them, I guarantee if I go look at their likes and comments, they've been active in the last 2 weeks. So it is 100% not true that executives aren't on LinkedIn. It's just not true, right? A lot of them don't post, but they like and engage. And so for those people, you can go straight to a DM after you go to connect with them. But at least wait 3 or 4 days. So if you're starting, never, ever, 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 ever message someone right after you connect. Yeah. So then the last one I'm going to show you is leads that follow your company, guys. If a lead follows your company on LinkedIn and you can't get a meeting with that person, you suck. I'm sorry, you suck, right? Like just with these 3 filters, change jobs in the last 90 days, post it on LinkedIn, and leads that follow your company. Guys, if you just use these 3 filters, you don't need to do anything else. You will have enough ammunition to go in and reach out to people just through those. Shared experiences, this one's a little muddy because it says groups too. It's not just like your previous jobs. If it was just previous jobs, this one would be money too. There's a lot of noise in this one because we're both members of a group, we don't when you personalize, are you picking a point to compliment and then add your point? No, never. What, guys, complimenting someone 9 times out of 10 is a great sign that you are a salesperson. Like there's ways to go about complimenting someone that isn't cheese dick. That's not like, oh, I really like that you blah, 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 blah. Dude, it's so obvious, guys. It just reeks of sales. So I don't compliment shit. Instead, I'm going to reach out to Ian. Ian, I enjoyed these 2 pieces. It seems like there may be some alignment around what we do at XYZ. Here's a quick tidbit. If there's interest, we can set up time to connect. You know? So yes, Robin, we are recording it all. The easiest way, honestly, guys, to find LinkedIn Live is just to tag yourself right now. Tag yourself or tag a coworker, and then you can come back to your own activity. If not, you can come back to my profile or my YouTube. If you come back to my profile on LinkedIn, it'll be buried in there. If you go to our YouTube, they're all on our YouTube. Or you can tag yourself and you can come back to it on LinkedIn. So that's it, y'all. That's just some ideas around engagement. leads that follow your company, posted, and change jobs. That's it. Then when you DM people, again, try to make it relevant. Don't be over complimentary. Don't do any of that. Hey, I saw this. Here's what I think we can do. Like, based on these two things, here's how I think we might be able to add benefit. Let me know if there's interest. Gong put out, I'll kind of leave you all with this little quick stat. Gong put out a really good stat that it has changed the way that I do calls to action on LinkedIn. And the stat was this: I knew from data we had done for forever in my sales career, from 15 years, that instead of putting, let me know what your time looks like next week, when you say general times, it's the worst thing. As opposed to saying, let me know how next Thursday looks at 4. That outperforms every single time. So, and especially that is the number one thing to send if you're trying to get a follow-up meeting. So if you're trying to get a follow-up meeting with someone, always send date and time. Never say next week. As an executive, if you say, Jake, how's your next week? I'm like, it's screwed. If you say, how's next Thursday at 5 or next Wednesday at 2, I can at least look. And I'm telling you, it works. The data even also says that it works. So Gong did the research. So put a date and time. But what they found that outperformed that date and time by almost double in terms of positive replies was saying, let me know if there's interest and we can set some time up like late next week, possibly Thursday, if there's some initial interest. So making the call to action, if there's interest, let me know and we can set up time, had almost double the positive reply rate. So literally as of last week, the behavior that I had over the last 16 years, 17 years in sales, I've completely changed it. I'm like, I'm just going to ask if there's interest because it kind of makes sense to me intuitively, especially with LinkedIn. So there's a little like parting nugget. So go out, enjoy your Memorial Day. Like I said, you'll definitely be able to find this on YouTube. Allie Ray, I think if you don't mind, can you just type in the link to where they can sign up for the Zooms to all the people on LinkedIn Live? So if you're on Zoom right now, you guys will get a recording of this, I think, emailed out to you. Or what you can do is if you go ahead, Lior, you were on the Zoom. Lior, the guy's example, he was on the Zoom. Or you guys can check it out on YouTube. On LinkedIn, if you guys go ahead, check out this link, just sign up and you'll get access to it as well. Let's make sure that we get that shared there, AR. It's just here. I think I even know what it is. I can do it. Just go sign up right here, bit.ly.com. Why is it doing this? I'm just going to drop this link in here for everyone. /Jake and friends. So there you go. So click on that link and then you guys can sign up for the Zoom. It works. The LinkedIn Live works really well when it's just me, but it can be a little bit of a pain if there's 2 people. So go out, enjoy your Memorial Day. I'm going to go grill up some burgers. You guys go check out Instagram. You'll probably get to see me grill up the burgers as well too. Just Jake_Dunlap_. So have a great rest of your weekend and we will see you all back at it tomorrow. Take care, everyone.